Yeah, you don't need to ask because we've had a winter storm, so I took my jacket off, not because of the storm, but because it was a very interesting halftime. I was not happy with our effort at all in the first half. We have not had very many halves like that. We had a half like that up at Corvallis, and I just didn't like our effort at all in the first half. And I thought our effort in the second half was much like who we are. And, it was a big, gritty win. And anytime you lose, it's hard. It's just so hard to score to get back to winning again. We've been able to do that all year. We obviously had a tough loss against Oregon, so we've lost 2 in a row. And I really like this Oregon State team. I told Craig that afterwards. They're a hard matchup. They can put lineups out there 6'10", 6'10", and you put Collier at the 4 at 6'8". That's really hard for us when we want to play 4 guards. That's a tough matchup for us. So they gave us some problems, and I'm very proud of our team in the second half. I thought we really did a lot of good things in the second half.
Is there anything you learned specifically going up against their front line and maybe Stanford's that will help you guys maybe going up against bigger front courts in the future?
Well, yeah, when you get to this part of the year, matchups are a huge key, and we're not blessed with an abundance of big size up front. We're not to that point yet. I think we get closer next year, but we are who we are. Our identity is who we are. And when you say Stanford, we beat them really soundly here, and we had a tough half up there. This team, I think, is I think it's a tougher matchup because they've got more size and can play guys. When they play Moreland, who's so athletic, and they can play him at the 3, they can play him at the 4, and then you have a scorer like Nelson. It just stretches you because you've got to guard the 3, but you also got to pay attention to the inside and the backboard. They beat us 5, which we only gave up 9 offensive rebounds, and that was big because they're coming off a game where I think they beat USC by 20 on the glass. So it's a really good rebounding team. But, we can't change. At this point, I've told the team that, we don't change our identity, who we are offensively, who we are defensively. We just got to keep getting better at that. And I thought we were better in the second half. We got steals. We got back to 11 steals. And that ignited our transition game. We got to the free throw line in the second half. We ran a better offense. But again, it's a game where we have 19 assists, 6 turnovers. We turn them over 16. So it ends up being 10 possessions that we get that they don't get, and I think that's probably the difference in the game.
See, is there really much you can do with the size thing going forward when you run into these teams?
It's hard. We can play Dave and Trav together, and like tonight we played then Tony and one of the Wares together. But that's our size. So it's worked out pretty good all year. But you're right. When we maybe there's not a lot of teams that can put the size out before that they can. I don't think. I've seen a lot of games this year. But 6'10", 6'10", 6'8", that's what we do in the starting lineup. We go 6'10", 6'10", 6'9". So we can match the size-wise, but you're talking about those 3 guys are really 4s and 5s, where we've got Kyle at 6'9" being our point guard. So it's about who can take care of the mismatches. And I thought we were able to do that. We got Jordan going today. We had Nelson in that match, and we wanted him to have to guard Jordan. There were some things with Zach when all of a sudden they would put Collier on him that we tried to exploit, and they're doing the same thing at the other end. So it's just who can out-execute who. But I just thought our effort was much better in the second half, and I thought that was the difference. We started playing like we normally play.
For the post defense in the first half, how much of it was lack of effort and how much of it was just having trouble with the size matchup?
Well, I just thought, and we worked on it the last couple of days of, post work's about doing your work early, and we didn't do our work early, and Brant got the first 7 points of the game, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But he ends up with 9, and so that's a really good adjustment by Dave. It was a good adjustment by Tony. Tony had some tough times against Collier. Kind of forgot he was left-handed, so we reminded him he was left-handed. Once he figured that out, he was a lot better. But I thought the guys adjusted well to post play because early in the game we were getting really hurt with post play, and we didn't get hurt all that much. We got hurt on some dribble drive stuff, which was more the guards that affected the bigs more than just low post play. I thought our low post play defensively got a little bit better as the game moved on. I think Brant came in here with 10 straight games, double figures, and tonight he gets 9. So that was pretty good for our bigs to do that.
You guys clinched a bye in the Pac-12 tournament. What's the key in these last two games to kind of keeping that focus, even though you don't necessarily have, say, that much positioning to play for?
Well, it's March, and we talked about that a month ago about how February can kind of set that up, and I felt we were playing pretty good basketball, going into March, and I didn't like our first half in March, but the second half was really good. And the month of March, it's a player's month. It should be the time of their life. So regardless of, I can't even tell you if I can't imagine our seeding's locked yet. But that's you mentioning that's the first time that I even thought about that we clinched the bye in the Pac-12 tournament. It's about you got 2 games left. You got 2 road games left. When you get into the Pac-12 tournament and you get into the NCAA tournament, you got to win. It may not be road games, but they're away from home. This was it. I'm very proud of Dave and Trav and Aubrey. I'm glad I got Aubrey in there and got all 3 of them in to play one more time, and Paulie, and to win. We talked about it. You're going to have 8 months to think about this game, because that's the next game, and Paulie's going to be 8 months away, and you want to do that on a win, and you want to send your seniors out that way. So now, there it is. There's not a ton of pressure, but the pressure is to go on the road and play well and be playing really good basketball going into the Pac-12 tournament, because after this weekend, they're all neutral games. And, we only have 2 more games left in what we call Season 2. Season 3, 1 loss, you're out. Season 4, 1 loss, you're out. So the season can go by pretty quickly now, or you can extend it by playing good basketball. And we need these 2 games to continue to play good basketball, because we're coming off 2 losses coming into this game.
Steve, where did the jacket end up at halftime?
Well, I like my clothing, so I didn't throw it. I just took it off and hung it over a chair, so it's not like it's on the floor. It came off. I think it came off before I got off the floor, to be honest with you.
All right.